Lucas, our first relationship was one-sided. You didn't even know me, but for anyone in the chat, Lucas is the developer behind Where Thoughts Go. Um, Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I went in expecting to hate your game because I am an alpha male and I do not share my emotions and I hold those because it shows
Right.
weakness, right? And went into your game being I'm sure these are all going to be troll comments, and the second I click on one of these, someone's going to tell me something very stupid. But it was quite the opposite, and it broke down some walls. I remember editing that video feeling very embarrassed because I'm watching myself be vulnerable and real. And it was a very similar experience to something I recently had where I got way too high and I felt like a different human being for a little bit. But we brought up the word ballsy before the stream. It was very ballsy of you. Gamers are predominantly male. We predominantly are terrible with our emotions. Dude, what were you thinking making that game? It worked.
Right.
But, I mean,
It did.
Jesus.
I had no idea what I was doing, man. Well, when I made Where Thoughts Go, for those who are wondering, Where Thoughts Go is a VR experience. It's available on the Quest, and basically, you go into these worlds which are populated by these little sleeping creatures. Each one of them is a voice message left by another player who was there before you were. You can wake up these creatures to listen to the voice messages that other players left behind, and to progress in the experience, you need to answer these increasingly personal questions and leave your own little voice creatures behind for others to find. So it's a VR experience where everybody shares about intimate parts of their lives, and it's really touching. And that was the experience that I used to learn VR development. Um, and because I didn't know anything, I was just, I guess, more willing to explore weird things that other people weren't exploring, and it came out fun. Came out great.
I've got to imagine that, like, I mean, I'm not going to put words in other people's mouth, but I will. I've got to imagine some people, looking how unique your game was, told you that was a bad idea. Like, there's no way everyone was on board with a concept like that.
Most people, yeah, most people I told this to thought it was a bad idea, actually. And this has been to be. It seems to predict my biggest projects are the ones where, like, the majority of people are telling me it's a mistake, but for some reason, there's something inside of me that's just so compelled by it that I just make it anyway. Um, and yeah, Where Thoughts Go was one of those things. People did think that everyone was just going to troll it and destroy it, and I did start designing the experience under the assumption that everybody would come in and try to destroy it. But it turns out that people respond differently in certain sorts of environments. If even if trolls, I was a troll for a very long time, so I think I can think like one.
We're all trolls
Um,
at heart, my man.
yes, if even if you're a troll, if you enter a VR environment in which everyone is being like really touching and open, um, it gives the troll pause, and they go like, "Oh, okay, can I joke with that though?" So it actually filters out a lot of trolls. But yes, and Steven, who's in the chat as well, also helped me make it. He was one of my mentors when I was learning how to code in VR, and yeah, those are very important.
Way to go, Steven. We appreciate that, man. What's up with I hate it, man. I really hate when someone I find myself doing this in the past and I have to kind of reflect and tell myself to shut the fuck up. But when people are telling you what's a bad idea and what's a good idea who have absolutely no skin in the game, like where does this mentality come from that people want to do this? Because I see a lot of ideas out there and people chime in and it's a bad idea. Says who? You got no skin in the game. You're not the one doing it. I don't really know where they come off from because are they coming at it in a sense of trying to help you or just be right and help themselves?
Um, Usually they're trying to be helpful. I mean, right now I decided to drop everything I was doing to do like YouTube, and everybody thought this was a mistake because I got some success with Where Thoughts Go. Instead of doing that, I just jumped to this other thing, and people have your best interests at mind, but um, people don't know what you want. Honestly, only you really understand what it is that you want to do. And people, they think about, they look at the situation from their perspective, and um, They're looking out for you. They want you to pick the simplest, the safest option. They don't want you to risk doing a project that could result in the entire planet hating you. So people have the best intentions when they tell you some of your ideas are bad, and you should listen to them because sometimes your ideas are bad. But you should not like do what they say. Listen to them, consider it, and then think about it and be like, okay, maybe you're actually lacking. You have a perspective on this that I don't have. And what happened is like every time people tell me that I have a terrible idea and I built it, when I build it, they understand it. So a lot of people just need to see the full story. They need to see the completed piece for them to understand the value of something. And I guess that's the difference between, the people who watch others do this and the people who do this.
Yeah, I mean, I can. We see it time and time again like that. It's frustrating to a degree that this creativity is typically rewarded when it's successful or complete. It is encouraged more when they see this vision and they understand it now fully. But it's very unfortunate that the ideas are not as championed as hard until there is proof of it. I mean, that's just, in my opinion, it's kind of sad.
It is, and it's one of the reasons. I mean, the YouTube video is virtual reality creativity crisis. So I guess we can talk about that at some point.
That's clickbait,
But
man. That's not actually anything. It's all clickbait.
it is. I mean, it's a little clickbait, but it's a little true because in back in 2015 and in 2016, the VR experiences were just fucking weird, and that's because we didn't know what works. But now, we're in 2021. People have an idea of a resemblance of what works and what doesn't in VR. And you're seeing titles tilt all in kind of like the same direction, and the experimental stuff is kind of like fizzling out because people, I guess, have agreed as a group of like what sells and what doesn't.
Yeah,
And
zombies and first-person shooters.
yeah, and those are doing very well, and some of them are fun. But yeah, it's been I've been a little bit depressed at how there hasn't been anything that I played in a really long time that I'm actually like really inspired by. And I think those are some of the reasons, but
Yeah.
there's many.
Hit that subscribe button to stay on top of the daily clips, or catch the debates and fireside chats live on the main channel down in the video description. See you next time, Space Cowboys.